Well, let's try to find out that why, despite doing all the things, going through every page of every book, why still you are failing in that IIT or IISc interview, in that BARC, ISRO, DRDO or any such kind of interviews like NPCIL also. So in this video, I will not do any shit talking. I will be specifically targeting those areas which are very important to crack academic interviews. Again, I am reiterating academic interviews. Okay. So I hope that you can see my iPad screen right now. So first of all, the academic interviews can be bifurcated into three zones. Bifurcated into three, that is technically wrong. So it can be classified into three types of interviews. First is truly scientific, second is factual plus scientific, and the third is factual plus HR. So truly scientific is BARC. Okay. So why is this truly scientific? Because in BARC interview, you will not be asked your any kind of background or anything else. They can ask, but the questions will be fully academic, fully scientific. Second, factual plus scientific. What does it mean? So in BARC, no formula will be useful. That is not correct, but no memorization will be useful. If you just memorize the formula and you think that you will crack BARC, no, that will not be there. That will not be there. But in ISRO, DRDO and IITs, something like what is this? What is that? So these are kind of factual questions, but that will be 20%. So I must write here that factual 20% and scientific 80%. And finally, factual plus HR. Here, honestly, they will just go like a rapid fire that what is this and what is this, what is that, and what do you understand by this, how to do this. So for every question, I will get like 2 to 3 minutes. No, not 2 to 3 minutes, 1 minute to answer. So these are typically like the PSU interviews or any core companies interviews. Like I have also appeared for the Athar interview and also the for Maruti Suzuki during my BTech. Although I was not able to crack any of them. Okay. And also some core companies are there like Schlumberger, like GE, who can ask you questions very deeply. Okay. So how to crack all these types of academic interviews? Now we will see that precisely. So the first point is K. K means knowledge. So this is very much obvious. So obviously you cannot expect that I will crack any academic interview, but I don't have that much knowledge. No, this is by name academic interview. Your academic questions will take at least 50% of the weightage. So you have to have a very good knowledge. Now, the moment I say knowledge, what type of knowledge? Because again, here, based on this knowledge only, at least these two, truly scientific and factual plus scientific. See, knowledge means you can memorize something. You can memorize all the formulas. You can memorize all the definitions. So that is also a knowledge. Another knowledge is you know that how to derive that formula. You know that how to apply that formula. These two kinds of knowledge or the mix up of this knowledge is required for the academic interview. Okay. So now the second thing is T means thinking. So T means thinking, and I will give a concrete example of an IISc failure. So recently one IISc aspirant interacted with me in LinkedIn. So he secured almost a rank of 350 or something like that in this year in ME, which is a pretty good rank, right? So in IISc, he was asked this question: if you are from ME background, then it will correlate well that a jet is issuing, and for this jet, this area is given, and also the velocity at this height is given. So you have to find that if the weight of this plate is given to you W, then at how much height it will balance the weight. Okay. So honestly, from GATE point of view, this is a standard question. Now, those of you who are not from mechanical engineering background, don't get overwhelmed or don't get lost out. Okay, because This is not something that you should be, correlating with. You can assume any standard question of GATE of your branch. So those questions only will be asked in IISc. Now, at that moment, I asked him, so this is a very standard question. You have secured a very good rank in GATE. So he told me that, Bhaiya, I have answered, but they did not look satisfied. So I asked him that, how did you answer? So then he told me that I answered like this, I know that here the formula will be a v square rho, and here I have to get this v by this height. So I can use v equal to, so v square by 2. By applying the Bernoulli equation, I can get this v here. Then I will apply this. Then I will equate this with the w. I said, okay, but how did you know that only this will be equated with the w? Then he told me that I just only learned this much, that this is the momentum that is striking here and that will be balanced by this. So this type of approach will be straight away rejected in IISc, BARC, ISRO, DRDO and anywhere. So if you are from any other branch, again, correlate this type of questions where there is some existing formula that you can directly apply. But behind that formula, you have to know the science. So here the actual science is the Reynolds transport theorem, right? The RTT. So in IISc, they will expect you to define a control volume here, to define a control volume here. So this is a CV, and then you are supposed to apply the RTT on this control volume to find the momentum change, and that will be the force by this plate on this fluid, and that will be the minus of the force by fluid on the plate. So this type of deep knowledge you have to know each and every step of derivation of any formula. Because in IISc or IIT, they are not interested if you can memorize the formula or not. And even if you say that, sir, I know that this will be solved by RTT, the Reynolds transport theorem, but I don't memorize that. That is also okay. Then they will tell you, okay, you try to derive that first. Okay, so I will take a second that my laptop's charge is going down because there the audio is being recorded. Sorry about that. So, okay, so here thinking is important. So, in this GATE type of examination, this point, please note it down in your copy. In this GATE type of examination, our habit is like, we have to memorize the approach, we have to memorize the formula, we have to memorize the sentences also. That an ideal gas is this, and PV equal to constant is the formula for an isothermal process for ideal gas. अरे why कुछ समझ के पढ़ो, okay, ठीक है. So think behind every formula, think on every problem, every single problem. So you don't have to take any kind of rocket science problem. You take those same problems that you have studied during GATE, right? But now you have to look at this problem from a different point of view, from a thinking point of view. Not directly, I know this formula. Ask, behind every formula, you have to ask a why. Why this formula? Why this thing? Now, at a stage, now you will come to a point when there will be no why. For example, the principle of energy conservation. No matter from which branch you are, this is something that we all know. So this is a law imposed by nature. No one can prove it. Prove it. Okay. So if you have to disprove it, then you can try for your whole life. Okay. That is the only proof that it cannot be disproved. So until and unless you go to that stage that your logic has come to a statement which cannot be proved further, which is a hypothesis which is self-proved and which is also called an axiom. So until and unless you go to an axiom, so for this question, what is the axiom? You have to tell me, what is the axiom? Comment down. The axiom is F equal to ma. that is the empirical formula. F equal to ma you cannot prove. It is an empirical formula. Okay. So, and from that F equal to ma, we derive the Reynolds transport theorem. Actually, not from that. Okay. Sorry, the RTT. So you have to tell me also for the mechanical engineering students the real axiom behind RTT also. So again, I am again and again telling that the essence of this second step is break down each and every problem, ask each and every step that why this step, and don't stop until you reach to an axiom. This practice is very important, okay, for BARC, IIT, these kind of interviews. Okay. Now, what do I mean by this BG? Background. This is background. Okay. Now, for interviews like ISRO, and also for interviews like DRDO, okay, and type of NPCIL interviews, I have also heard, and in some cases BARC also. So, if you say that I have worked in HPCL, then BARC can ask, okay, you have worked in HPCL, so have you seen oil storage tanks? Have you seen natural gas storage tanks? Now they will go to that. Okay. So if you are having any job background, or if you have done any good project in your BE or ME. So if you are going to any IIT, there is high chance, 80% chance that they will ask from your project. So this is IIT or IISc. Okay. So there is high chance that if you are going to IIT or IISc, they will ask you that what have you done in your project? So for that also you have to know everything, that what have you done, why have you done, and how have you done. Behind each and every step, there must be a logic, and honestly, if you don't find a logic, you have to admit it there, then and there, that I thought that this will give me the results, but honestly at that time I could not find the logic, and that was a mistake. So if you admit it like that, that is also very good, but don't try to speak anything fake, because they are very experienced professors. They will catch your fake statements. Okay. So, but this is true for IIT, IIS, that you have to know well about your project. But the second stage is that correlated knowledge. Correlated knowledge. So, knowledge correlated to your work and project. This is actually very important for IIT, IISc, ISRO and DRDO. For BARC, if you are very lucky or unlucky, okay, then you will be asked from your background. Okay. But in ISRO, DRDO and IIT, IISc, if they think that, okay, you have worked with a refrigeration system, then you must know about the refrigerants. Okay, you don't know about the refrigerants, then you must know about the refrigeration cycles, different types of cycles. They will ask you to draw. Okay, you don't know the RSC cycles, various kind of RSC cycles, you only know one or two. Then at least you know that for that one or two cycle, how the each of the cycle component will behave, that you know. So at least you have to know anything, okay, connected to your background work, either the work that you have done during your BE or ME or BTech or MTech, or what you have done during your work, if you have done any core mechanical work. Okay, they will ask you from that also. For example, that I have told in BARC, if you are working in HPCL, they can ask you from the storage tank, that how to design a storage tank. So this is very important. Keep this in mind, that first of all, your background, and correlated to your background, you have to know something. You have to know some theories, not only that what you have done, but the basic science about that background, or about that work, about that academic project that you have done in your BTech college. Okay. Fourth point is learn to interact. Now, this is something that will not come until unless you really interact with a real people. So, this interaction can be with your friend, this interaction can be with your professor, This interaction can be with anyone with whom you are giving a mock interview. So, okay. So, I will suggest that first start with someone with whom you are comfortable. Okay, so that will be your friend, right? So, learn to interact, because now here I will give you one example. In DRDO, everyone was asked intensively from the manufacturing. And you know that when in mechanical engineering, you are asked from manufacturing, unless until you can memorize a lot, you will not be able to answer, because manufacturing is like the whole universe. Okay. So now, if you want to take out your interview from that zone, from that uncomfortable zone. So what I did, now this is my story. Okay. So when my turn came, so at first they asked me that what I am doing and what I have done. So I knew that my all fellow aspirants who were interviewed before me in DRDO, they were asked, I mean, intensively from manufacturing. So when my turn came, when the manufacturing teacher was there to ask me question, at first, very politely, very humbly, I told him that, sir, I have not studied manufacturing for the last 2 years, so I am not very much confident in manufacturing. Very humbly. Okay. So you have to tell these things. They're not there to ask you from anything that you don't know. But if you don't speak up, they will assume that you are here for everything. Okay, they can ask you from everything. But if you tell them that, sir, I am not comfortable with this part of the subject, you can ask me from this part. They are happy with that. Okay. So see, unless, so two things can happen. Unless they will say, I mean, option one, they will say that, okay, then we don't have anything to ask, you can leave. Option two, okay, so then you tell that from which part I should ask. So then that is your pick. Okay. So if option one happens, I think that is better than giving any kind of wrong answer. I mean, if you don't know anything, because in my manufacturing case, so I was really in a very bad condition for manufacturing. Okay. But if you know that I can try, then first try. Then after first one or two questions, if you are not able to answer, tell them that, sir, I am not comfortable in this part. So likewise, this is a non-academic interaction, but when you are asked a question, express your thought clearly. So I suffered a lot during my BARC interview, okay, due to this thing. So when I was answering, I can clearly remember that I was giving actually a more accurate answer, but they were not getting it, that I was thinking in a more accurate way. They were actually wanting it in a more engineered way, in a more simpler way. Okay. So what I was answering was more correct in terms of physics, but due to the fact that I was not able to express my thoughts clearly and confidently to them, they thought that this guy knows nothing. Okay. So both academically and non-academically, you have to learn to express your thoughts, to take your stand. Okay. And this you have to do very politely, very humbly. That, sir, sorry for interrupting. Can I do this? Sir, I am thinking that this problem will do this. They can actually interrupt you. That, no, how can it be like this? But in that situation, you have to make your mind calm and think and tell them, sir, I might be wrong, but I think because of this will be the logic. At most, you will be wrong, but you have to clearly express your thoughts. This is very important, and this will come only by interacting with your friends or with your teacher, professor, or a mock interviewer. Okay. Finally, trying. Okay. This is very important, trying. So when you are asked a question, so this is something that is in contradiction to this point 4. I mean, to a actually, I mean, part of point 4, my DRDO experience, that you don't have to tell that, sir, I don't know manufacturing. Don't ask me from manufacturing. No, you have to tell, sir, I am not very much confident from manufacturing, but I actually told him that you can ask whatever you want, because everything is same for me, I will try. So this one word, I will try, has a great weight in your interview. Okay. So in any question, if you can try a bit, that is very precious. So in the BRC interview, still I can remember that in one heat transfer question, I was not getting the exact logic. But I told them, sir, I am not getting the exact logic, but can I try? So they actually encouraged me that obviously you should try. So then I tried, and actually I got almost right answer, not the actual right answer. And they don't want the right answer, no. I mean, in any kind of academic interview, other than the factual plus HR case, they do not want you to give the correct answer. They want to see your approach. And this will be shown to them only if you are trying. This trying is very important, and this is also one more thing that we don't develop during our gate practice. So we are taught that if you are seeing that this question will not be solved by you, skip it. And this is important for gate actually, because you don't have a lot of time, but this is detrimental for your interviews. Okay, this is something that you don't want to happen for you. You have to try, and for trying, you have to practice. Honestly, you have to practice the previous year interview questions. If you are thinking that from where the hell I will get the previous year interview questions, they are available in the internet. But from mechanical engineering, there is something special for you, that if you are thinking that from where I will get the solution, I have made a series containing the solutions of the real BARC previous year interview questions. You can go to that playlist. Okay. Finally, the last point, and I think the most important point, is the confidence. Again, in BARC, the same example that I have taken earlier, that I was going through a more accurate way, but due to the lack of confidence only, I was not able to express my thought. So this point 6 is connected to this point 4. You will only able to be interact with them only if you are confident enough. And how can you be confident enough? If you practice enough. Practice speaking by yourself. I mean, खुद से ही बातें कर लो ना. I mean, if you are someone who does not want to be in an uncomfortable zone, then my friend, you cannot build up confidence. Believe me, I have stammering. I had actually stammering. But now I am speaking a bit fluently because I have practiced a lot. Not this video, not the script of this video. I have practiced a lot speaking in YouTube videos, in other interviews, in presentations. So still I stammer a lot, but that doesn't mean that my confidence is down. So you have to build that confidence, and for that you have to have knowledge. You have to have that practice, and you have to think a lot. Okay. And lastly, one more advice bonus tip, that is, see, every interview is different. I used to make this mistake a lot before. I thought that I am a topper in terms of academics, then I don't need to know the mentality of the interview. No, every interview has its intrinsic nature that is different from all other interviews. So BARC is different from ISRO, is different from DRDO. So before appearing to any interview, it is very important to know that what mentality you should have and what mindset you should have for that particular interview. Yes, the mindset and mentality is not same for BARC, for ISRO, and for DRDO, and for any other organization. Yes, all these are offering for the same post, scientist, or these are offering for the same post of scientist, but still their mindset are not same. So you have to learn that mindset. And how can you do that? The solution is to hear the interview experiences of different candidates, and not only the questions. I see that always students find the actual questions that has been asked in the interview. No, you have to hear the full story. That is why in my channel, in contradiction to all other interview experiences that almost I have seen in the YouTube videos, that they will tell you only the questions and a very few other experiences, that how were the panelists, what do they expect. I have published the videos of IISc interview, ISRO interview, BARC interview, DRDO interview, everything. And there I have not only told the actual questions, but everything starting from accommodation, how I reach there, if they will give you TA or not, to how was the panel environment, how the scientists behaved with me. So you have to prepare your mentality like that. For each and every organization, you have to work hard. Okay, you have to prepare your mentality like that. It is different for each and every organization. But there will be obviously something common. And what are those common things? That is K, knowledge. Second, thinking. Third, this background knowledge. Okay. Fourth, this learn to interact, trying, and confidence. So these things are common to all, but still you have to know that what are the interview mindset that I should have for this particular organization. So enough gyan for this video, and I request you all to please subscribe. I mean, it is not something that I will force you to do. If you think that this guy is trying to do something for us, please subscribe कर दो यार. थोड़ा बहुत motivation मिल जाता है और क्या. इतना ही. I know तुम लोग कर दोगे, and thank you for that. And if you want to connect with me, you can send me a request in LinkedIn. Okay. Other than that, I don't have any kind of social media account right now. So until the next video, goodbye, take care, and thank you.